So I want to start today's video off with something I found funny, ironic, okay? And not funny in any kind of negative or mean way, but that Martini guy, if you don't know him, make sure you follow him on Twitter and subscribe to him on YouTube as well. But he mentioned today that the U.S. has printed more dollars in the past 3 months than in the previous 200 years combined. Let that sink in. Then buy Bitcoin. Well said. Well said, and that's something you actually hear a lot of people say. You know, the Fed's printing more U.S. dollar, banks around the world are printing more currency, quantitative easing is taking over, inflation's going to take over, it's all worthless, buy Bitcoin. And the justification for that is the philosophies of Bitcoin, right? You can't make more Bitcoin. But on the other side of this is what I responded to, because I found this as entertaining. I said, here is one twist of irony about the whole situation. Let me move my head out the way. Nobody buys Bitcoin because they believe in its philosophies. They buy it to extract the most USD value out of it. So while we often criticize money printing, we all sure as hell extract those dollars out of Bitcoin, LOL. And that's true. Everyone talks about a $20,000, $30,000, $50,000, $300,000 Bitcoin. All of that is based off of USD value, some sort of fiat value. With the rate that we're printing money right now, in a long enough timeline, all of that's going to fall apart. So if Bitcoin happens to be worth $20,000 at that moment and inflation starts kicking in, that $20,000 Bitcoin ain't going to be worth $20,000. It might be worth $100. And you get what I'm saying? It's a very real possibility. Then you can say, oh, we're going to peg it to gold. But you can't peg anything to gold because most gold that is out there is derivative based, IOU. So you can't peg it to the price of gold. The price of gold is also pegged to the US dollar. So say this at the time, a gold bar is worth $4,000. In the event that the US dollar or any kind of fiat currency collapses, it might be worth $4. You get what I'm saying? It's a kind of a funny twist of irony. We all want to say buy more Bitcoin because we're printing more US dollars and more fiat. But at the same time, we want to extract as much of the USD value out of Bitcoin. It's kind of funny if you ask me. It really is. It's just, I don't know. I don't know where we're going with this world with Bitcoin, but yeah, you know, I'm along for the ride. You know, it's just very entertaining. But listen, today's video, I got some very useful information I'm going to share with you about some DeFi platforms, especially Uniswap and also Gravity, or Waves as Gravity. You're definitely going to want to catch on to this, so make sure you subscribe to today's video, hit the like button, comment, and share. We know how YouTube feels about this kind of content. They completely hate us. So let's go ahead and smack them in the head by hitting that subscribe button. And because of popular demand and request, I'm going to put this chart back up of all the upcoming events happening in August that you guys need to stay aware of. For me, the two most exciting things that are coming up in August is right here is CRV's Curves token launch between August and September. That is going to be bigger than Balancer and Compound. Mark my words, it's going to trump Balancer, Compound, and Wi-Fi. I guarantee that's going to be 5, 10. That could even be a 10,000% gain right there. I guarantee it. The curve is going to be huge. You can't buy it. Too late. The only way you could have got it is by farming it. We'll talk about how to farm that kind of stuff later. But LTO right here, where are you at? Right there is the next thing I'm excited for, the main net upgrade. I'm going to cover more LTO tomorrow as well. But make sure you pause this video at some point with me out of the way, and you make a mental note of all these things happening, because this can make a difference between you making money or even losing money. Now, something else that I'm telling you I'm very excited about is I talk about Uniswap a lot. Okay, Uniswap doesn't pay for anything. I talk about Uniswap because it's a simplified DeFi / Dex platform. If you're still using centralized platforms, you really need to look at what you're doing and realize that technology has already moved past that. If you look at what's happening with all your centralized exchanges, okay, nobody is running to them anymore begging for listings. Everyone is fighting for DeFi listings. Everyone wants to get on DeFi because the liquidity there is insane. And the projects that do still hunt the centralized exchange, they're old school. I'm telling you, it's old school, and it's gonna be something very. They're gonna be an antiquity. Okay, that's what they're gonna end up being. But Uniswap raised $11 million in our private fundraising round, guys. $11 million in the current market. The last time you saw projects raising $11 million was in 2017. 2017. Things are changing. DeFi is where it's at. Now, this could be a clear indication that we are heading or in the next actual bull run, the next bull phase, the big market rally we've all been looking for. Another way to look at this, though, is remember in 2017, ICOs, they ran 10, 12 months tops. 10 to 12 months tops before they collapsed. And then last year, you had the IEOs. They ran 5 months tops before it all just went to hell in a handbasket. In July, everything started crashing again, right? We are probably entering the third month. Third month right now of the DeFi craze and how DeFi is impacting the entire market, okay? How long will this one last? Will this be another one of those temporary runs? At the end of the third month, could it all go back to hell in a handbasket again? These are questions you need to make sure you ask yourself and prepare for just in case. Because, I mean, it's crazy. $11 million raised on a DeFi platform when 99% of people don't even fully understand how DeFi works. Okay, I don't know. And another thing I see troubling right now is all the DeFi forks. DeFi forks are hungry for retail money. So if you see a DeFi fork, more than likely you're going to get wrecked. Whereas real DeFi doesn't want retail money. They don't want retail in there. They don't want you to make money. Okay, remember that. Now, speaking of that big news with Uniswap, another platform that I've talked about on this channel now for the past, 2 months that has been doing really well is Waves protocol. Waves has built something called Gravity, and Gravity has built something called Neutrino. Okay, Neutrino is a USDN, which is a stable coin, which is a really awesome stable coin. It's probably one of the fastest, most efficient ones out there. But Gravity, and powered by Waves and Fusion, partner up to focus on interoperability. See, Waves, the Waves vision with Gravity is DeFi interoperability, which is, if you don't fully understand DeFi, maybe you don't understand how big that actually is. That is like figuring out artificial intelligence in the traditional world. Whoever figures out AI is going to be the next trillionaire. Whoever figures out and effectively does interoperability in DeFi, that's like trillionaire status right there. It's a big deal. But Fusion and Gravity are joining efforts to establish a portal between their interoperability focused hubs and commit to cooperate in the creation of a seamless environment for value and information exchange between multiple blockchains. Under a partnership agreement, Fusion will join Gravity's blockchain agnostic data and Oracle's communication protocol powered by Waves. Now, the thing that is most exciting about this is you need to look right here where you see Uniswap. As the first step of the partnership, Gravity will run a DCRM node, joining the DCRM Alliance to further practical use cases around the decentralized custody and becoming a candidate as a validator in Uniswap, an interoperable DEX built on Fusion. Uniswap is something that I think has a lot of legs to stand on and has a lot of potential to do what Uniswap has done. So definitely keep your eyes on this. Familiarize yourself with Waves, Gravity, and Neutrino. I'm going to do a more extensive video on Neutrino, possibly I think on Sunday is my plan. Okay, I'm trying to find some cool references to make it all make sense, because the Waves ecosystem, I mean, it's a true interoperable ecosystem, and the partnerships that they have obtained for this ecosystem is a pretty damn big deal. In the past 2 months that I have talked about Waves, the price has done nothing but gone up. There's a little bit of a dip right now, but it was less than $1 when I first talked about it. Now it's worth $1.68. It's about to do a 2x on you. So, I mean, it's definitely something that you don't want to go to sleep on. I'm telling you, that ecosystem is going to be a big deal. Now, I want to point something out. Whenever I get involved with a platform like this, I like to know everything about the ecosystem. There's another piece of the ecosystem that they never ever talk about, and it's called Waves Enterprise, their West token. Now, their West token only has a $2.5 million market cap, and something else to really consider about this is Waves Enterprise, their West, okay, and Microsoft announced an actual partnership. This is a cooperation kind of partnership. It's not like the partnerships where you just see like, oh yeah, we're going to partner and we're going to do some bullshit here and there. There's an actual cooperation between Waves Enterprise, right? Their actual commercial wing of Waves, and Microsoft. This is a pretty damn huge strategic cooperation that, if you do a little bit of research, to me, I'm actually having a really hard time understanding why they only have a $2.5 million market cap whenever they get Microsoft partnerships and it's an enterprise product. I mean, I don't know. I think a lot of people have gone to sleep on stuff like this, or maybe simply because they don't talk about it. All right, so in stepping out of the DeFi world, which is I could stay on DeFi all day long, and Waves and Gravity and Uniswap and Frontier, which I have a Frontier wallet tutorial and a Uniswap tutorial coming up for you guys to help make those simplified. I just want to make sure it's done right. But to get off of that, let's talk about Bitcoin. Something that everyone talks about is all the new Bitcoin wallets that are appearing and new addresses that are, we're approaching 2017 levels. Here's a different perspective for you guys. I don't think it's a whole bunch of new people getting into this space. I think it's a bunch of our old school people who are buying more Bitcoin and are making sure they distribute their Bitcoins to multiple wallets. I personally use about 15 different wallets, not all for Bitcoin, but for various different currencies and various different things I have to do. Obviously with DeFi, that wallet number goes up. But when it comes to my Bitcoin holding, I don't hold all Bitcoin on one wallet. That's insanity. No one should ever do that. You should actually break up your Bitcoin into 10, 20%, and then store it on multiple wallets. And that is actually something you're seeing more people in the space doing, is putting their Bitcoin on multiple wallets. Adds several things. More security is one, and a little bit of privacy is two. I actually think that's exactly what we are seeing, is our OGs and our seasoned players using multiple wallets. And not to mention, right now, most wallets, take for instance a Ledger, uses a rolling address. Rolling addresses can be interpreted as new wallets as well. So it's just something to keep in mind. I don't think that we're seeing more people necessarily coming in. I just think we're seeing our current people getting smarter. Speaking of wisening up with Bitcoin, and by the way, you want to stick to the next segment I'm going to one of the next segments I'm going to talk about, because I have a feeling at the end of this year, like right around November, we're going to see a whole new world of regulation hit Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. I'm going to show you why, but this is something that I actually heard about before, but never really put enough thought into. Never thought it was really a real thing. But the Bitcoin bug, there's a Bitcoin bug that can kill Bitcoin. All right, they call it the Bitcoin killing bug. In the year 2106 is when the last Bitcoin is going to be mined. When the last Bitcoin is going to be mined, that means the miners and the current algorithm is useless, which means that the entire network can die, which is something I never really ever thought about until I really looked at this. And the only solution for this is a hard fork. I don't know. It's just kind of it's a crazy thing. Now, with the way that miners are growing, right, as far as the technology cannibalizes itself every 3 months. Every 3 months, we get new miners that are faster, more powerful than the previous miners. They may not be more efficient, but they're definitely more powerful. You're getting more hash power for your bucks, right? So that being said, it's very possibility that the last Bitcoin could be mined sooner than 2106. It could be mined, last one could be mined as soon as the year 2080, especially with the amount of efforts we're putting towards these supercomputers to mine Bitcoin faster. Who knows? It could be by the year 2050. Right? It's a real possibility of the way technology is going right now. We are trying to mine Bitcoin as fast as possible. But it'll be very interesting times nonetheless. Hopefully I'm alive to see the Bitcoin fork. It's a necessary thing. Bitcoin is actually going to have to fork. The question is, are we going to wait to the last minute? Or will we see Bitcoin fork in our lifetimes? And would you be accepting of a fork? I don't know. I think a lot of cool things can happen with a Bitcoin fork. PayPal partnership with Paxos and stablecoins going through the roof is something I hear a lot of people talking about. I'm going to tell you like this. This is something I can summarize short and sweet. What did Cash App do for Bitcoin? I can tell you exactly what it did. Yes, more people bought Bitcoin. People bought smaller portions of Bitcoin at a time. More people lost Bitcoin. A lot of people that buy Bitcoin through Cash App bought it because they saw someone on Twitter say, hey, buy Bitcoin. So they bought it. They bought something they don't fully understand. They have no idea how to use. They bought something to them is actually meaningless, but for them it's an aspiration to take this, buy this, and make more US dollars. With that mindset, most people have lost this Bitcoin or even forgotten the fact that they own their Bitcoin. So it hasn't really done anything to help the community. So we have entities like Grayscale buying up Bitcoin between $30 and $50 million worth per week. And then we have another group of people buying Bitcoin just to buy it and then end up losing it, which means that the supply of Bitcoin is getting narrower and narrower for people like us who actually are more passionate about it. Those are just my thoughts. I don't think the PayPal thing is going to be good for the Bitcoin ecosystem at all. I don't think it's going to give us any significant boost whatsoever. All right, last thing I want to talk about, and this right here can be a huge game changer. I've mentioned this multiple times on my channel. Like whenever people talk about things like XRP and cross-border payments, right? How they're going to use XRP will be that next thing to handle all settlements, cross-border payment settlements. I just don't see it happening, okay? Because you have countries like North Korea that have sanctions against them. And I always said, you're going to start seeing countries that have sanctions against them utilize cryptocurrencies to circumvent these sanctions. I've said it for a long time. And the day that people started talking about it, and let's put it this way, we in the space already knew it. It's like, no freaking shit, they're going to do this, right? But as far as the mainstream goes, the mainstream media and the mainstream, as far as what they talk about, what they see, this is news to them, and it's going to become big news. And this kind of news right here is going to have repercussions for us. I have a serious hunch that after this next election is done here in the U.S., we're going to see a whole new level of blanket laws come over cryptocurrency and Bitcoin. That's going to be very inconvenient. If you were to ask me why 2020 is a very valuable year for cryptocurrency and why everyone should embrace profits, embrace trying to extract as much USD value. If there's a reason why to ignore the core philosophies of cryptocurrency as a whole right now, it is the possibility that at the end of this year, the blanket laws that are going to hit us could change the entire dynamic of how we crypto. That's my honest to God's truth. If you were to ask me why you should really focus right now in extracting that USD out of it, that's why. I'm telling you, I think we're really on borrowed time as far as the freedoms that we have right now in cryptocurrency and how we trade, how we use it, how we make money off of it. I think we really are. I really think we are on borrowed time with it. That's all I have for today. I want to know your thoughts on DeFi. Are you still using centralized exchanges? Have you made the switch over to a DEX, to a DeFi platform to learn how to use swaps the right way, manage your slippage, the whole nine yards? Let me know if you guys have done that or if you guys are hungry for it, because aside from just a tutorial in Uniswap, there's more steps that you need to make sure you're familiarized as far as how to handle utilizing these platforms. They can be greatly beneficial to you, but they can also work against you if you use them the wrong ways. All right, guys, so listen, that's all I have for today. I hope you enjoyed today's video. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.